Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis Legacy. The sorority secrets of the goddess next door are revealed in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis Legacy in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. One of my viewers wanted some advice on how to deal with a situation with a toxic study buddy. Now, this viewer sent me a message saying, "Hi Sean, it's blank from YouTube and a fan. How was your Thanksgiving holiday? Mine was good. I am donating to request a video about the way college students handle a toxic study buddy. My former female study buddy and I were supposed to study and help each other with writing assignments at Ashford University while working on our master's degrees in business administration. As we became friends, we were supposed to help each other with school assignments, but she hadn't started her assignment until the day before the deadline. And I ended up writing more of these assignments and helping out with these activities. And it was bad enough that this black woman was married and had a couple of children and is a couple of years older than me and didn't have a job, but she was expecting her to come out here and pull her own weight regarding the situation. Now, the viewer says that they argued about this situation, about what she wasn't doing as related to the writing assignments in school, and then they eventually stopped being study buddies and she started to study with other people. Now, what happened here in this situation is you had two women in two different stages in life, and what made the situation toxic was that you had one woman who basically was already established as related to her life. Now, this older woman was already married, had her children, and had an established home. And as somebody who basically was a stay-at-home mother who had an established home, her priorities as related to this degree were more about vanity than actually focusing on building any sort of serious career. And this is possibly why this woman basically didn't have the same sort of eagerness as related to pursuing this degree or taking the responsibilities as related to completing all of these assignments. For her, this basically was something she was possibly either doing for vanity or for social reasons, and the viewer was basically working with someone who really this wasn't a priority for her, and that's what made the whole situation toxic. Now, the viewer, on the other hand, this degree was something that she was working on to improve her professional career and reputation and get opportunities for work. So she was taking the work a bit more seriously and wanted to go out here and make sure that this work was done in an efficient manner, and she wanted to make sure that this work was done in an efficient manner. However, the person she was working with was doing what I saw many female bosses I used to work with do. They would go out here and wait until the day of the assignment to start doing the work, and that can be quite frustrating for someone who this degree was something important for them improving the quality of their life. Because it's very frustrating for someone who is out here looking to work towards a degree that they want to use to open doors for them to work with someone who for them already is established as related to their life, and this degree is just some sort of personal accomplishment that they're trying to achieve. Now, that's why this woman wasn't really taking the work seriously as related to this degree, and that's where the viewer really has to understand that when you are in school, the only person who's going to get your degree is you, and that was a hard lesson that I had to learn even before I went to college and was back at Park West High School. Now, in 1989, when I was at Park West High School, I had a grade advisor basically tell me that my credits were supposedly all messed up and that I would have to take a bunch of classes in order to be able to get my credits straight. And it was a very frustrating, and they basically had given up on me, and it was a very frustrating situation to be in, but it was a situation that made me realize I could not trust anyone to be in charge of my education, the way I was expecting people to be, because the people who were supposed to be in charge of my education basically messed up everything as related to my credits and would have had me stranded in high school, and even worse, would basically given up on me. So that whole situation made me really get frustrated about school. And when I prayed to God to change the situation, I wound up changing schools. And when I changed schools, I changed my perspective about school, where I started to say, I can't trust anyone to be in charge of my education, like a guidance counselor or a grade advisor. I have to be the one in charge of my education, and I have to be the one that takes responsibility for getting my education. And if I am the one in charge of getting my education, I have to put my own education in my own hands. And that's what this viewer has to do. They have to put their education in their own hands and not go out here looking to depend on a study buddy, because when it comes to getting your education, you are all alone. That's a lesson I had to learn back in high school, is that when you're out here getting your education, you are out here by yourself. And as you are out here by yourself, you have to take your education in your own hands, and you have to be the one who focuses on getting you the credits to get your degree, because you can't depend on other people in these academic institutions. Because in most of these academic institutions, there are a lot of people here who don't have their priorities straight. Some people are going to school just for vanity reasons. They're getting a degree just to say that they're getting a degree. Others are here because somebody sent them there to get this degree, basically because somebody told them it would make them money. And others are here that are because they just want some place to go. But you have to find your passion for your education and use that passion to get your diploma, and not focus on other people. That's something I had to do after I spent a 5th year in high school and had to go to college. And when I went to college, I put myself first, and I focused on me and focused on getting my education. I basically tuned out all of the other people around me and focused on the work that I needed to do in class. And as I focused on the work I needed to do in class, I focused on making sure that my work was completed on time. And I also focused on making sure that my work was done to exceed the standards of the classroom. I always focused on making sure that my assignments were done. And that's how I was able to graduate at the top of my class in 1994 with a 3.95 grade point average, and I won an award for my academic excellence when I graduated college. I mean, that's what I got when I was out here studying business in college, and I wouldn't have got there if I didn't focus on me and focus on what I wanted. I understood that there are no study buddies in college, just like there are no friends in business, because when you go to college, you are competing against other students, and as you are competing against other students, you cannot really depend on them. No, everything is on you, and you have to take responsibility for your education. So she didn't really want to really focus on the work that needed to be done, and was expecting other people to carry the load, and that's what she wanted the viewer to do. But you can't expect people to carry your load in college. No, that was something that was taught to me when I was going to school, and one of my family members was going to an Ivy League university, that everything is on you, and everything at college is based on what type of work you put in as related to the work that you do. Every piece of work that you do as related to your assignments, you can't expect nobody else to carry that for you. You've got to bring those results for yourself. So the only way you can get top results is if you stay on top of your work. You cannot get upset at other people for not doing their work, because that's not their work to be able to carry your load. No, you have when you go to college, it's all what you put in. That's what's going to lead to you coming out at the end of the year with a degree at the top of your class, or just barely making the minimum to graduate. Whatever result is based on what work you put into your degree. So I'm telling the viewer right now, don't ever think to depend on a study buddy. You've got to study for yourself. That's something I had to do when I went to college. I mean, I had to make a lot of sacrifices to get to that degree. I had to walk away from things that I wanted to do. I remember I wanted to go out on my birthday and I couldn't because I had to go pick up books from college. And I remember there were events I wanted to go to, like Comic-Cons and stuff, and I had to let that go to study. I mean, there were a lot of things that I wanted to do, I had to sacrifice in order to get my degree. And if you want to get your degree, you're going to have to go out here and understand the only person who can get this degree is you. And when it comes to these schools, you have no friends and nobody as related to your business, because the only person who can take care of your business in school is you. Now, my advice to this viewer is when you're out here studying for your degree, the only person you can focus on for getting that degree is the person you look at in the mirror every day. You can't really depend on a study buddy to help you study for your assignments or get your writing done, because at the end of the day, it's going to be your work that's the one that's going to be assessed. And not only is your work going to get assessed, you also are going to be assessed for your work ethic and making sure that you can get assignments done on time. And the only person who can be on top of that is you. So when you're in school, don't depend on anybody to get your work done. The only person who's going to get that grade is you. And if you want to get the best grades, then you have to go out here and make sure your work is on point. So my advice to this viewer is just charge this person to the game. And when you're out here working around other people, get a look at their work ethic and get a look at how they put their work in. And that'll give you an indicator to how serious they are, because it's clear to me that the woman that you were involved with really wasn't serious about this degree, because she's already married, she's already got a husband and a kid and no job. So her work was all about the home, while your work was about school. So you need to get involved with people who are more serious about school, and really, as you're working and socializing with people, understand that you can't depend on any of those people to get your degree. The only person at the end of the day can get your degree is you. So if you want to go out here and study, the best way to do it is by yourself, because the only way you can really figure out things sometimes is by yourself. I mean, I know some people like to study with friends, but the whole thing is that a lot of times some people just want to socialize. But if you really want to get your top grades, you're going to have to go someplace quiet and focus on learning the way you have to by yourself and getting a better understanding of your subjects all by yourself. Now, I'm hoping this advice helps this viewer as related to getting their master's degree, because the only way you can become a master of a subject is by learning how to study it by yourself and learning things on your own. I mean, I had to learn everything myself by myself, and that's how I graduated at the top of my class, because I put myself first and I put my education in my own hands. And I'm hoping that this viewer will put their education in their own hands and realize that at the end of the day, if you want this degree, you're the only person who's going to help you get that paper in your hands. Now, this was a video requested by one of my viewers, and if you want to request a video, you can send a donation of a minimum of $15 to the PayPal or the Cash App, and if I know something about that subject, I will make that video for you. And if you also want to support the channel, you can pick up many of the books on the SJS Direct imprint, and you can find those books in fiction and nonfiction on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, and Target. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, All About the Goddess. The Goddess Next Door bears all in the art studio to catch a campus stalker in this action-packed Isis series mystery. Get your copy of Isis, All About the Goddess in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.